If you've ever bent a crescent wrench, please go ahead and smash that like button. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a compression test on a 2008 Charger. And stick around, please subscribe, because in the future I'm going to be doing a rebuild on a V8 Hemi. We've already got the block and the heads down at a shop in Ogden, getting port and polished and honed. So please stick around for that. First things first, guys, I'm going to blow out the engine bay so that when I crack the intake plenum and take that part out, there's no debris or anything that can fall inside the engine. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the air intake box. That way I'll have nothing hanging up on our throttle body when we go to remove the intake plenum. That clip was broken, so that took me a while. Oh yeah. You have one clip on the top here, and then you have one on the underside for your air intake. You'll need to loosen one 10mm bolt right here to get the intake out. You're going to detach this hose from the valve cover. Just go ahead and pull it off. And then the air intake box should just lift straight up and out. Now for the intake plenum, we're going to undo two plugs, one right here, one right here. And then there's two nuts on this side that you'll need to undo, and it looks like three hoses in the back that you'll have to detach. For these Chrysler clips, you pull the red part back, or sometimes you push it to the side, and then you can actually depress the clip and detach it. Sometimes it's easier to use like a flathead screwdriver or something if you can't get your finger in there to depress the clip. Right now I'm loosening two 10mm nuts on this side so that the metal clips won't hold the intake plenum from coming out. Now I'm going to go ahead and loosen the 10mm bolts so that we can take the intake plenum off. If you don't have an air ratchet like I do, you can use a hand ratchet or even a socket attachment for a cordless drill. The transmission fluid tube just clips in the back here, so you'll just need to unclip that. And then go ahead and start pulling the intake plenum off. The intake plenum's bolts are self-retained, so once they're loose, don't worry about trying to pull them out. I had forgot one hose on the back here, so there's 3 hoses right here in the back. The cowl is a little bit in my way from preventing me from removing the intake plenum, so I'm going to remove at least 3 of these Christmas trees to buy myself a little more space. I'm using a 13mm wrench to go ahead and loosen 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on this side to get this bar out of the way. So this is what the underside of the intake plenum looks like. This blue part that you can see right here is your intake gasket. And these are the retained bolts I was mentioning. You have your 3 hose plugs right here, and then this one right here is for this coolant line right back here that just pushes in there. Now that we have access to all 6 of our spark plug tubes, we need to unplug each coil pack and undo the 10mm bolt holding it in place and remove those coil packs. In order to do the compression test, you don't want any fuel actually getting to your engine because you don't want it to start. You just want to be able to have it turn over. So in order to do that, you'll want to pull the fuel pump relay on this '08 Dodge Charger. It's this center one right here. You're just going to pull it straight out and set it off to the side. And now you can crank your car without actually having it start on you. Now we can go ahead and start doing the compression test. The compression test kit that I have is one by Blue Driver, and it does pretty well. It comes with both attachments for both size spark plugs. Multiple ways of doing the test: straight attachment, angled attachment. It's done pretty well for me. I'm not sponsored or anything by anyone or anything, but Blue Driver also offers an OBD2 reader that's Bluetooth and just connects to the app on their phone. I've also really enjoyed using that product. It's helped me a lot in diagnosing vehicles' issues and getting them fixed and back on the road again. In case you haven't used one before, what I'm using is a 5/8 spark plug remover. Typically, they'll have some sort of rubber or something inside of them to retain the spark plug so that you can remove the spark plugs. Right now, for the moment, I'm just going to start with removing one spark plug so that I can do a compression test on that cylinder. Now with one spark plug removed, you're going to match the correct adapter for that thread of your spark plug. You want the correct diameter and thread to get your compression test set up. This O-ring will seal against the adapter for the spark plug hole. This quick detach pressure gauge is going to come on this side. This will tell you how much compression you have in your cylinder. You just need to screw this in there firmly so that it seals. There's no reason to have any pressure or torque on that side. If you're working on a V8 Hemi, you're going to use a 21mm socket for the crank bolt on the front. If you're working on a V6 like I am right now, you'll want an 18mm. Looks like cylinder 2 has about 150 psi. If your spark plug retainer is a piece of crap like mine, I suggest pulling it out with a piece of pliers or something before you put the spark plug back in. That way you don't get this stuck on the spark plug side and have a hard time getting it back out when you're putting the spark plugs back in. You don't want spark plugs too tight, just hand tight, and that's all you need. Cylinder 1, we may have an issue. We're only reading about 110 psi, so that may be an issue. I was hoping for about 150, around there. but we'll keep going. On cylinder 3, we've got about 120 psi. Generally, guys, I won't use power tools to tighten anything, but unzipping them out sure is handy to have an air tool or a cordless tool. So on my compression test, cylinder 2 was the only good one at 150 psi. All the rest were around 100 to 120 psi, which is still a 15% difference. So I've got something major going on. And that's how you do a compression test on an '08 Dodge Charger. There's a learning curve. Yeah, I'm free falling, can you hear me calling?